Hello everyone, it's Matt here, and this is the post-Billund trip vlog, and yes, I've made it back. So obviously there is a bit of a delay. I came back on Saturday, and it's now the Monday bank holiday. So where have I been? Well, basically I've been playing Overwatch for pretty much the entirety of Sunday. Um, and largely that's because I hadn't done all the placement matches for the competitive, and I hadn't done a few of the bits and pieces like all the loot boxes for the summer games I could do through the arcade. So I was pretty much playing Overwatch just to get that sort of stuff out of the way, and then some competitive points, and get a bit closer that way. So that's why I didn't do anything yesterday. Today has been a bit different. I've actually done all the photography needed to start the show off the purchases. Um, and I had to do a few of the bits and pieces in the background, sort a few bits out, and do a few other bits like that. So that sort of stuff is now sort of being in motion and will be coming out fairly soon once I've got the production side aspect out of it in Vegas Pro out of the way. Um, so with regards to the trip, the Thursday I left, got to the airport, had to go through Frankfurt, then went to Billund. Um, the machines at Frankfurt for checking your passport weren't particularly clear that you had to go to the yellow line and then take your glasses off if you wore them to match your passport photo. And obviously that may sound like common knowledge and may sound fairly sensible, but the signs on the machine were in German, I think, and there might have been some English, but it was pretty much just pictorials, and it didn't actually show them when I was there. It was just essentially scan your passport and go forward, and it didn't say anything beyond that. Um, and passport control going towards Billund, the bloke who actually checked my passport out and checked that it was me sort of didn't sound very impressed and sort of went, oh, you need to stand close to the machine, you need to stand to the line. And then he essentially just chucked my passport at me. Um, so my opinion of the personnel behind Frankfurt passport checking is a little low, shall we say. Um, so after I arrived in Billund, obviously I didn't have any baggage to flip because it was just hand luggage for my ticket. So I went through to the main bit of the airport, and then got lost in the car park for about 10 minutes while I worked out where I was and why it wasn't showing up on the maps I printed off. And it turns out the Billund airport is a hell of a lot larger than Google Maps says it is, or indicates it is, at least. So after the initial bit about where I was going was resolved, I started walking to it, and then the pointers on the maps pointed me to a car park. They didn't point me to a path, which I was expected. They pointed me to a car park. So I just had to walk on the side of the road on the grass, quite a good portion. Eventually found the main road and walked down that way past Legoland to the centre of Billund and had a nose round, took a load of photos which were on Flickr for those of you interested. And after that, did a bit of shopping, did some shopping, took a few photos, bought some of the Lego house sets, the original white one, not the new one that's going out. Bought a couple of those, and then went back to the hotel, checked in, and by this point, the flight landed sort of like early afternoon, I think it was. So by this point, it was about 4 o'clock, half 3, I think it was, by the time I'd actually got to the hotel. 4 o'clock by the time I'd got in my room and sort of took everything out essentially. So what I did after that was I checked up on the Brickset forums and a few of the bits on the WhatsApp Brickset group, and a few of the bits and pieces for the trip, just to update a few people, and also phoned home as well, to sort of say that I've arrived safely, there's X, Y, Z happened, da 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 da, it's all fine. After that, went to eat in the, obviously had a shower, went to eat in the restaurant at the hotel, which is I think it's called restaurant number 8, at the Hotel Swanson where I was staying, and it was alright. I mean, the people say Billund's expensive, and it kind of is, but the cost of the 2 Lego house sets was the same as my evening meal. So, in terms of the cost, for everything, it's all relative, and you'll might have to exclude the exclude the wind there, it's getting a bit active. So the trip out with sort of like the evening meal out the way. I then went to meet up with Lego staff and the Bricks of Funds and the Legoland Hotel bar. And we had a massive discussion about trains, about monorails, Lego events, the Lego house itself, and what's in the area and that sort of thing. And that was a really nice conversation to have, and we sort of went through there and spent a lot of money in the bar, and we did that for both nights. So after that was done, we went back to our relevant places. St. Luke's joined us as well, and he was able to book in, so we got in. The following day, which was the Friday itself, we got up, had breakfast at the hotel because it was bed and breakfast, and got to Legoland, and then went round pretty much the bits of Legoland I wanted to, with the exception of one or two rides, but then again I was short on time. Met up with the other people from Brickset, and then we all went back to the Legoland Hotel so we could put some of the stuff in St. Lux's room, because that's where we were staying, so it's fairly close by. Because you can actually get to the hotel via a walkway from Legoland itself, so that was all nice and fairly easy to get to. And then we went from there to the bakery in the centre of Billund to go over lunch, and then we went to the Lego house itself. So by the point we got to the Lego house, it was just for 4 o'clock, as it said on the ticket. So Lego house itself, I'll put that in the sort of video, or sort of what I thought of the Lego house, and put some of the photos in. But it was, you know, it's, to give the short description, the Lego house was really nice. You know, surprisingly, I was quite surprised about what was actually inside it in terms of the features, and you know, it does seem a bit thought out. But obviously, I'll be putting it in a future video, so I don't want to give too much away. But I will say the wristbands, and I have actually got it here. And here's my wristband. And you actually use this around the Lego house to interact with the exhibits, and it's a really nice system, and it also gets you access, and it also opens the lockers. But again, I'll be talking about the Lego house a bit more in a future video, so I don't want to spoil it all in this one. So after the Lego house was finished, we went back to the Legoland Hotel, and obviously we'd eaten in, some of us had eaten in Lego house, but Lego Star hadn't, because she'd been busy with other things. So we went to the Legoland Hotel, got into one of the restaurants, was able to get the a la carte, so it was really late at night. So we had a bit there, went back to the bar, had some drinks. Finally finished at about 2 o'clock, half 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It was really, really late. Go back to the hotel, slept, got up early on the Saturday, had a shower, had breakfast, packed everything, and then got into the centre of Billund to have a little bit of a walk around, buy a few polys from one of the stores I'd been in, but hadn't bought earlier. Bought those, went to the centre of Billund, and there was supposed to be sort of like a children's event-y sort of thing. And it was still being set up when I was there at about 11 o'clock, but I think it was going through all the weekend. So obviously, they do seem a bit more relaxing, Billund and possibly in Denmark in general. And this did sort of stagger stuff about when it was starting. So they're still setting up at about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning when I was there. So I had a quick walk around that, then caught the bus back to the airport and went through, and then went through there, went to catch my flight, and my flight was delayed by 45 minutes, which was not very nice. So we eventually got the plane arrived 45 minutes, a bit later, got on the plane, got back to Frankfurt, and it's quite interestingly, got to Frankfurt, got off, went back through the terminal, went through passport control without any single issue at all. Then got into Yeah, I got from there. Then I had to go into the terminal, find the gate, and it changed. So I was able to look on my phone because Lufthansa actually emailed me the change of gate, um, if they were changing. So I looked on my phone, found it had changed. Looked on the screens, and it was on the screens. Went to the gate, and managed to get on without any issues. So it was not too bad from that respect. And then the flight coming back from Frankfurt to Birmingham was about 20 minutes late. Um, so I eventually got home later than I should have done, but I was getting a lift off my sister back from the airport to home, so where I live rather. So she was there to pick me up from the airport, and I actually went through passport control really quickly because essentially I hadn't got any luggage to collect. So essentially, get off the plane with my stuff, with my 2 bags, go through, um, and do it that way. And essentially, I was in and out. I was from getting off the plane to getting outside the airport. It was probably about 25 minutes. It was ridiculously short. Um, as previous times I've been coming back through Birmingham, it's been quite a lot longer. Um, but essentially, it still seems fairly good. Um, so then, if I was going to go to Billund again, would I? And the answer is possibly. If I was going to go from scratch, as in there wasn't anything specific to go for, so this one, which for example was the opening of was sort of like a sort of testing day for the Lego house for AFOLs. If it wasn't for that, I don't think I would actually go to Billund itself because there's nothing specific to Billund itself really in terms of Lego. Because obviously there's a Legoland, but there's Windsor and there's the others around the world. Um, you know, there is some stuff that is unique to Billund in terms of some of the printed stuff, like you can only get Legoland Billund stuff there. The Lego house sets are probably going to be exclusive to Billund, and the Billund Airport set, which you can't actually get anymore because they don't produce it and they've actually sold out their stock at Billund Airport, because that's something I checked while I was at Billund Airport. They're all probably going to be exclusive to Billund or the Lego house itself. So obviously, you've got that sort of aspect, and you'd kind of, I wouldn't say want to be restrictive, but if that's the only thing that's actually going to be at Billund, then it doesn't, for me, seem worthwhile going there and doing it. But I think if there was going to be some sort of specialist thing, such as, I don't know, I'd got on the Lego Inside Tour or something like that, then yes, I definitely would leap at the chance and go there. But this is the whole thing: is that going to Denmark and Billund is very expensive. And to put prices in perspective, because I know it's obviously a bit of can be a sore topic for some people. Just to get to Billund, I'd already spent £800. That's not a pick a number out of the air figure. It was about 230 for my flights to Billund, so that's 4 flights, one between Birmingham and Frankfurt, and then between Frankfurt and Billund, so there's 4 flights in total. It was 260 for the hotel for the 2 nights. Then there was just under £300 for spending money, and then you got insurance, and then you got paying my sister's money to act as a taxi, because it was a hell of a lot cheaper than actually getting an actual taxi. And then there's a few other things as well, like my backpack, because I didn't actually have a backpack, so I had to buy one of those. That was 20, so it was actually more than insurance. But it was sort of stuff like this where it's a lot that sort of accrues over a while. So it was that sort of thing where it seems like it's a small amount, but then it just like builds up and builds up and builds up. So it can get quite expensive. So, and then there was all the stuff I spent at Billund itself. Now, obviously, that 2,300 did seem to go fairly quickly. So I was using my card for some of it. So quite a lot of the stuff I bought in the Lego house, or when I did my big order. So it was one of the special fish models, and the Pick-a-Rick Cup, and a few of the education sets, and the Ninjago CMFs. They were all put on the credit card because essentially, it was a way to save money. I'd got some money in my hand, but it wasn't enough to pay for that, so I just went, I'll put it on the card. I did that as well in Legoland for a certain of you certain things. Because the Danish currency does seem to be rather valueless, essentially. Um, in some respects, it seems to be quite good, in some respects quite bad. I think it depends on the goods and what you're after. I think it was like 200 kroner for a bottle of Pepsi in some things. So, but anyway, so that's sort of done. If I was going to go to Billund as well, what I'd probably want to do is have a layover in Frankfurt so I could visit the Lego store. Now, obviously, the big question is, would you go there on the way there or way back? And the question is, I'll probably go there going to Billund. And the other thing as well is, if I was going to go to Frankfurt to visit the Lego store because it's the interchange, when I was coming back from Billund, I'd probably just go to London in a direct flight because it would be just so much easier. I think obviously you'd make way back from London to where I live near Birmingham, because obviously it's so much easier. And this is one of the things is that I did pay a lot more for my tickets because it was a lot more convenient. Now, obviously, if I was able to go to Billund with a direct flight from Birmingham, I'd leap at the chance. But unfortunately, that option isn't there. Now, to be honest, I don't think the ticket, the sort of like the number of passengers you'd get, would probably be worth it as well. So there's always that sort of aspect as well. But I did have fun on the trip. I met up with several people I know, some new people, made a few friends, and everybody knows my face a bit more now. But anyway, I do believe that's it for this video, and obviously I'll be uploading more stuff in the upcoming couple of days. And do check out my Flickr. I will put a link in the video description, and quite a lot of the photos I've taken are already up there, and I will be adding more in the next couple of days once I've sorted through all of them and worked out what ones actually need are duplicates and need and don't need. But anyway, that's all from now, and I'll see you in the next video.